Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're here. I'm so glad that you guys are here. It's so good to see you guys in the chat. We made it. We made it. It's Tuesday, 3 p.m., September 22nd, 2020 here in New Vienna, Iowa, and I'm glad to have you guys here in the live stream with me. Let me tell you, yesterday was weird, and I really apologize to you guys for that. I think for those of you who kind of like listened into like me in my Wayne's World moment where I was like stuck in the basement, like talking to the camera by myself. I kind of tried to explain it. It has to do with like how you set up or schedule the live stream. If you schedule it on your phone, you have to do it on your phone, and like when you try to fix it, it makes things so much worse. So I tried to do that, tried to fix it, and it just, sorry, I'm getting warm. And it just totally messed up. And then I know that a lot of you guys were trying to watch. I know that you guys like waited for me, and I feel terrible about that. Yeah, it's just a lesson learned to like just schedule the live stream way earlier in the day, and just always do it on a laptop. Never do it from the phone, for me, at least in the way I want to do it. But all right, we got that out of the way. My apologies again. I will. At least, I guess this week my goal was to make the live stream better, but I guess the goal should be recalibrated and be like, I want to make the live streams at least as good as they were last week. So that's the goal, and I'm so glad to see all you guys here. We got Marielle Van Orts here. She says, great to see you from the Netherlands tuning in. Awesome. Good to see you again, too. Ines Dunbar's here. David Sachs, Plant Power, Dan, Bertley guest, Pete G1980 says, hi, Kafuzi, how's it going? It's going well here. Rain Runner's here, Stevie76, Derek Dixon, Chris Dyke, Mark Chancoco, Martha's here, Luis Becerra, CJ Cruz. Everybody's here. Look at that. Awesome. Steven Gersdorf. And we got JP, Chris Yao chatting it up in the chat before we got started today. Awesome, guys. Good to see everybody here. Crispin Greco, you are in the right place. This is the correct, let me type that in too. This is the correct live stream. You know, I didn't think I'd really have to type that ever again, but here we are. We're back at it. Donnie Berryhill is coming in from Texas. Ride Ventura is coming in from Zurich. Awesome. Very cool. Today, we're going to do the little plop, plop, fizz, get my noon going. Open up a new tube today. And cheers to you guys. All right. J. Mike Remy's here. He says, I appreciate that you continue to do these. Well, thank you. And I definitely appreciate that you guys are here. I'll tell you what, it's as much as I love rambling, it's a lot better when you guys are here, that I have someone to talk to and feed off of and communicate with. It's nice to see you guys here again. Yeah, all right. Corey Allen says, went to the Adidas outlet and held a pair of SL20 in the iconic colorway. Oh, there we go. Word of the day. And it was $129 on sale. I mean, I don't know that I would buy them at $129. But for sure, Corey says the SL20 pricing is all over the place. It is, for sure. I think at this point, I wouldn't buy it like over $90 for. Rodolfo Montalvo says, hello, it's good to be on the live one. Good to have you here, Rodolfo. Marielle asks, have you announced that the artist from Atreyu is on pre-order on the website now? No, but people had mentioned that in the comments yesterday, and I think that comment percolated to the top. So I think people knew, and I think it's important that people go and pre-order it, because I'm not sure if they're not going to, I don't know what happens if they don't hit their pre-order number, but I think they're trying to hit like a certain number and then they can launch it. So I will, don't quote me on that one. Don't freak out and don't feel like you have to go buy it. Let me go and double check on that. And then we'll see about that. And then if it does come down to something like that, then I'll make a different kind of announcement. But the pre-orders are up. You can go and pre-order now for sure. So it's a good shoe. It's a lot of fun to run in. It felt like a lighter fuel cell TC, but also it's a little bit, I don't know if it's actually wider, but it felt like it was a little bit more planted to the ground. So yeah, so it was good. It was good. I like that shoe. Luis Becerra says, in the DGR page, someone found SL20 at Ross store for $35. Awesome. I would love to be able to go to a Ross store. Because have you guys ever watched that when like shoe tubers go to like Ross and Marshalls and TJ Maxx and go sneaker hunting? It's pretty amazing. And it's not just shoe tubers. It's people that do like the eBay flipping right? People that do that, when they go to the shoe stores, and it'll be like, you could get like a pair of track, I don't know if they call them flats, but for like throwers, for like a shot putter or discus thrower. And like TJ Maxx has it for some weird reason, and they're just trying to offload it to see if they could sell it. But like someone who really needs a size 11 throwing shoe is willing to pay like full price for it. So it's like an interesting concept. I'd love to be able to kind of do that. But I know from like the Marshall, or is the TJ Maxx that's by me in Chicago in Lakeview, that one generally does not have any gems. That, or at least by the time I get there, the gems are all picked over. Anyway. Right. Let's see. Corey Allen says, Polar Ignite and OH1 are getting delivered today. I'm happy to give up the Garmin 245 after a week of telling me I'm unproductive but with good training load. Polar has the best data. That's cool. I hope you enjoy it. I mean, I do like the OH1, and I'm actually looking at, just to compare it, some other of the wristband heart rate monitors, because I'm like, this is a pretty good one. But all the other ones that I've seen are really big, and they're not that much cheaper. So I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. But I've actually been looking at the Garmin 245 a lot. Sorry, I'm getting like a weird echo, so I just want to change some of the modes on these earbuds. Yeah, so I've been thinking about the Garmin 245 music, because I'm trying to think of which watch I want to kind of like explore next, and I'm thinking about a Garmin. The 745 just seems expensive because it's $500. But it seems like the watch that I want to review, but I'm not sure. Also, I usually like to buy my sport watches on Amazon because I have the affiliate links, and then it helps defray a lot of the cost. But they're sold out, the 745 on Amazon. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Noah says, just got the 245 music. I hope you've been enjoying it. Ride Venture says he might purchase a Garmin 245 music in the next few weeks. Yeah. All right. Reed Moore says, very curious about the 745. It seems like a lot of people are, because I think because it's such a new watch. But like I've been getting a lot of comments and questions about it. All right. Ben Ing says, isn't the Garmin 755 due soon? I'm not sure. I don't know, but I thought the 745 only like just came out. And so does Garmin ever do, like, would that be considered two updates, or is the 755 like a completely different watch? Because I think I understand the Garmin like numbering and naming system, but I guess I could be wrong. Martha says, I looked into ordering the Artist, but there are no returns or even size exchanges, and I've never tried an Atreyu. I didn't know that. That is an interesting idea. I don't know why they would do that. But I think it fits true to size. So I wouldn't worry too. I mean, I guess it depends on how much variation you have in your shoes, Martha. So like if you're like, I know there are some people that are out there that are like, well, in this brand I'm in this size, in another brand I'm another size, and depending on if it's a racing shoe or a easy day shoe, I might be in a different size. So if that's the situation, then it's a little bit harder. M. Gruner says, what did you listen to on those 40 laps at the track? I listened to the Dave Chang podcast, and every once in a while he has a dad's podcast, which I think is like my favorite one that he does. And it's about a bunch of like, I don't know, I guess like modern dads. And they talk about their weekly dad successes and their weekly dad failures. And it's pretty funny. And it reminds me a lot of the kind of conversations that I would just naturally have with my buddies back in Chicago. And like, so there's like a nostalgia for that. Because I feel like me and my buddies were we like to think, I think we are pretty involved as dads. And very different from, say, like other generations in terms of gender roles and that kind of involvement. And so it's nice to hear other people that are about my age talking about similar things and similar kind of problems. So that's what I listened to, and it made the time go by real, real fast. Yeah. Backfam said the Dad's podcast with Ravi was amazing. That was a really good one. The one that I listened to was the one with there was a first one with a mom on it, and it was a mom. I don't forget her name, but she's involved with Westworld, right? Is that what it is? I didn't know who it was beforehand, but that was also pretty good too. Andrew Kish says, "How old is Kofuzi? I'm 40 years old." So, as an update, I ran that 5K in the Artist, and I advanced out of the first round in the Trial of Miles cross country competition, and so I'm on to round 2. There's 2 like simultaneous competitions. There's also a masters competition. So I came in there. So the top 40 advance, and I came in like 38th of people my age. And so I just barely squeaked by on that one. And I really only barely squeaked by out of the first round in this competition because I'm in Iowa. If I were in Illinois, I would have been like a top 25 make it. I think I would have been like 30 something or like third to last to be very, very clear about it. And I think that in like big city, which is like the Northeast, which incorporates everything from like, I'm not sure where it starts, maybe like New Jersey or Pennsylvania, all the way up to Maine. So you've got New York area, you've got Boston area, and you got a lot of great runners in those 2 areas specifically. I think that the cutoff time was something like 16:50 to get out of the first round for a 5K. So pretty intense, and I just don't belong in the second round. But here I am. So there's that. So I'm feeling good at 40. Made it. Being able to make it against people my age. I think there were maybe 50 Masters participants, so it's not like a huge like accomplishment, but I feel really good about it. All right, let's get to some of the packages for today. I didn't really know what to do for today since I was like, well, I messed up Monday Mukbang and I didn't really have good trivia like planned ahead of time, but like a whole bunch of, as I was thinking of like trivia, a whole bunch of packages came and I only knew about like what half of them were. So we'll open this first one here, which I don't know what this is. It's not something that I ordered. I think it's earbuds, but it's something that was sent to me and it's got batteries in it. So that's why I think that's what it is. I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it has to do with like the way that like cheap knockoff earbuds are made. Like they're probably made in one factory does like a big run, but they like label them with like 3 different brands like at the same time or what. I'm not sure if that's true, if that's what's happening, or if it's just pure coincidence. But 2 different companies contacted me about like reviewing earbuds at the same time. And so I think that's what this is. Let's see. I've got my fancy unboxing knife, which is a pair of children's scissors. And let's see what's in it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So these are earbuds. They are... Oh, you can't see that. Let's see if we can get a view on that. This way. Yeah. Sound Liberty 94. They are from Anchor, which is a company that I like. I don't know why, like... Oh, no, it's from Tautronics. Sorry, Tautronics. Which is what these are. Also Tautronics. But they were like the first Bluetooth earbud company that I ever bought, like myself. And so I ran in them like forever. And then these are noise canceling true wireless earbuds. So that seems to be the new trend. Before it was true wireless, where there was just a little earbuds and no wires. And now the next like generation of that is like active noise canceling. So let's take a look at these real quick. See what they look like in here. There's another pair of true wireless earbuds that I'm also currently reviewing right now. And so that's why I thought, like, when they were like, hey, can we send you these? I was like, normally I would have been like, I'm okay. But since I'm reviewing another one, here they are. They're really small, really nice. And like a familiar shape. Like you've probably seen like this shape of like earbud before. But if they've got like noise canceling in them, that makes them pretty interesting. because like I just like having the noise canceling when you're out and can still hear the environment around you, but it kind of like also can help you focus. So I'll definitely be reviewing that soon coming up. So that's what was in that box. Jody Run says, talking of earbuds, I had to send back the Jaybird Terra Pros as they wouldn't charge and also would fall out of ears when running. Oh, really? That's a surprise. I'm assuming they probably send you a different pair back. I hope. Anyway. In terms of being aged, Chris Yao says he's 25 in each year. I like that. Corey Allen says, Tautronics gets so much love from Unbox Therapy. Do they really? I didn't know that. I used to watch every single thing that Unbox Therapy did. And then I think at the point where he made that like studio downstairs where he does like a talk show every day. That's when I stopped kind of watching as much. And then as I'm saying it right now, I'm realizing like I'm doing a very poor like mimicry of that model, I guess. Oh well. Cool. Lena A says, oh wait, I'm 44, but turning 45 this year. Oh, well, congratulations. That's awesome. Rainrunner says, I feel especially old when I look at TikTok. Yeah, I think I get TikTok. What I don't really get is Reels. I just don't like people's Reels. Like on Instagram, like it doesn't work for me. I'm not liking it. The only Reels that I like, and Instagram I think has figured it out, is like when people will just post like a minute or 2 minutes long of them running. Like someone's on a bike or following in a car and just like filming someone and someone's running fast. I'll watch that for 2 minutes straight. I just think that people running is like a beautiful thing. And so I've definitely just watched that. What I also think is funny is that with everything that's been going on with TikTok, and I think people have been well aware of like the potential security risks. One of my friends in Chicago, she was telling me like don't get a TikTok account. So I was like, okay, I won't. And I was never really felt like I missed out on anything by not having it. And then, but what I thought was funny is that like now, the president's like, oh, well, it's a security risk, so they have to divest their U.S. arm and sell it to someone else that he approves or something like that. And so it's like Donald Trump versus TikTok. And everyone's like, this is kind of weird. And I'm like, it's not that weird. Remember that the rally in Tulsa? Like how they thought there was going to literally be 1 million people there for a rally in Tulsa. And then there was like 12,000 people. And the people that took credit for it was K-pop stars and people on TikTok. So I'm like, yeah, of course he hates TikTok. Anyway, but I like no one talks about that, but I just think it's very connected. All right. Okay. Inez Dunbar says, I'm running my best at 51 and hoping to be able to run for a long time yet. I hear you. I mean, I'm still kind of wondering if like maybe like my fastest days, like I'm just on the other edge of that like precipice. But on the other hand, I'm like, wow, I kind of ran fast the other day, faster than I have in a long time. So that felt pretty good. And what was I listening to the other day when I did the trail run where I just ran in those nerve insole things, the NURVV insoles for a while. I was listening to a podcast with, I think, a Bill Yang podcast, and he had someone on who had been transitioning from like competitive swimming, like Olympic level swimming, to competitive triathlon, to then endurance, like ultra races, and then now just like multi-day running adventures. And I felt like it was a very timely conversation for me to listen to, where I'm just like, not that I'm ready to like hang him up by any means, but like where like the speediest run is not really the most interesting run for me anymore. And so like running for a fast time is slowly starting to become less and less important to me, and being able to run more and have different adventures and go explore more and experience more with running is becoming like that's coming in on this side, so that's kind of where I'm at, and I hope to just be able to continue running for a long time. J. Mike Remy says Lou Later is even better than Unbox Therapy in my humble opinion. Is that what that show is called? The late night show that he does. It reminds me of. Did anyone watch the 404 show on CNN? My favorites. I mean, I liked a lot of the different hosts that were on there. I like Justin Yu. I miss Justin Yu. I wish he were still like on the internet. And I liked Ayaz Akhtar on it as well. He's one of my favorite people to watch on the internet. But that show I really liked, where it was basically like a couple of people talking, kind of like this, about just stuff on the internet, because it was like a tech-based show. So it was pretty fun. I like that one. Backfam says Abdi was 43 and third in the trials. Not saying that's normal, but it makes me feel hopeful. It's what's funny is when you listen to people that are like Meb Keflezighi's age, talking about how, like, you know, one of their fierce competitors was Abdi Abdurrahman, and it's just like, wait, are we talking about the same guy that just came in third? Like, you know, people that talk about like running, and I forget who was saying it on a podcast, but like over in, was it in California? Mammoth? It was either Mammoth Lakes, maybe probably not Mammoth Lakes. I'm probably thinking of that because of Meb, but I think it was in wherever that Lake Mary Road is. People are saying like he'll just show up some days and just like demolish people. And he's just like, that's Abdi. I think that's amazing. And that guy is just like superhuman, and it's super cool. And it's very empowering to see someone. I mentioned it once because Rachel in Releases on Instagram, she was posting like before the trials, like the times and the ages of people that qualified for the Olympic trials. And like she had it in a bar graph, and then there was like the 40 and over category. And I was like, this 40 and over category makes me feel good. Not because I'm ever going to be like qualifying for the Olympic trials marathon at over 40 years old, but that other people can do it gives me hope. You know, I just think that's a pretty cool thing. Yeah. Plain Pride Dan says, I don't know any of those people, but he did get back to Aussie Man reviews thanks to Kofuzi. I think it's pretty funny. I just like yeah, Derek Dixon, Lake Mary and Flagstaff. Yes, that's right, Flagstaff, Arizona. Yeah, I do like me some Aussie Man reviews. All right, let's get to another package. Let's do we'll do this one next. This one's just a bag. It's from Roadrunner Sports. I think I forget what it is, but what Roadrunner Sports does with me, or their PR person, is that or their PR agency, is that they'll occasionally be like, hey, we have some new stuff for the spring, or they'll say like this time they were like, we have new stuff for September. Like here's like a list of stuff that you can choose from, and so I'll pick it, and then by the time it gets here, I forget what I have. So, okay, all right, this is cool. So this is definitely something I need. I need more like long sleeve running shirts because I only brought like tank tops and singlets. So they sent me this one. It's from Corsa, like the brand that Roadrunner Sports owns. But it is like the same kind of like design and material. I have a white singlet of this material, and you can't see it here, but it's like white with like gray. I'm trying to think, do I move it closer to show it to you guys? Yeah, there you go. It's like white with gray, like kind of like speckles on it, and on the back it's mesh, like laser cut. And so you can kind of like see through it almost. So looking forward to that. Pretty excited about that shirt. So we'll have to test that out and see how it goes. And then next we'll do, that was the only thing in that bag. And then next we'll do this box, which I think I know what this is. I hope it's what I think it is, because I've been waiting for it. And if it's what I think it is, the baby's been waiting for it as well. Ah, yes it is. These are for the baby. They're a pair of Merrells. So we've been doing a lot of hikes and walking through woods and trails as a family lately. And I noticed the other day it was a little bit wet, and the girls are still in like a pair of like Nike kiddie shoes that are they're running or walking directly on the midsole foam. And I was like, that's probably not a good idea for them. So I was like, let's get some trail shoes for them, or trail like hiking shoes. And I was like, oh, they make it in adult, the same shoe in adult sizes. So here's the shoe that I got for them. Look how cute and tiny this thing is. Yeah. So it's a hiking shoe so it's not a running shoe, but it's a hiking shoe. It's got some decent tread on the bottom. So we got that going on there for it. It's tiny. It's just so small and cute. But yeah, the girls are going to love this. So I got this same one in a bigger size for my daughter, and then the same exact one for my wife as well. And then a same one for me, but for men, it doesn't come in this color for men. It only came like there was a couple of other colors that were all gross. So I got a pair that's like orange and black. But I'm pretty excited. We're going to be matchy out on the trail. So very excited to do that. I'm a little concerned because though, and I'll have to go look at them again. They're over there. That's why I'm looking over there. But they felt heavy. And if I recall correctly, like they were like well over a pound at the weight for the shoes. But they're not running shoes. They're hiking shoes. But yeah. So yeah, Sean Morrow says family mirror advertising. Those are shoes I purchased with my own money. So the earbud, I should have mentioned this as I went. The earbuds, the Tautronic ones, they sent those to me. They want me to review them. The Merrills I bought. The stuff from Roadrunner Sports that's here today, that's stuff that they sent me. Steven Gerzorf says, is Kafuzi rocking a mullet? It's kind of getting there. Well, I mean, the hair is just long in the front, and then it just like, so the haircut I normally have is like a couple of inches up top, like maybe 3-4 inches up top, and then like if you know the clipper sizes, it's like a 4, maybe a 5 on the sides and back. And I haven't had a haircut since like middle of February. So like whatever, this is all like just length. It just grew. So yeah, it's yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get it cut. But today, as I was walking around, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring these scissors upstairs so I can do the unboxing today. And I was like, but I could also cut hair with these. Like that thought occurred to me like as I had the scissors in my hand. It was like it was just not a thought that normally occurs to me when I have scissors in my hand. So. I don't know what that means. I think my body's telling me it's rejecting this and probably some of this, the mustache up front. So, yeah, I think it's getting close to be time. Shannon's here. What's going on, Shannon? How are you? Good to see you. Tyler, he says, I thought I was watching Craig Engels the entire time. That's funny. Oh, he does have a nice mullet. I've been thinking if I was going to give myself a haircut, I would do like a mullet first and then a mohawk because those are 2 haircuts that I've been wanting to have. I also think it'd be really confusing to a lot of people if I like was running around town here with like a mullet and like a handlebar mustache with this face. Like I just think it's confusing to me. It's like every time I catch like my reflection in a mirror, I'm like, oh, all right, that's still there. Okay. Yeah, so it's weird. It's weird, but weird times. All right, let's do the last package here. This one is also from Roadrunner Sports too. So like usually when they do the thing where they're like pick a couple of things, it's usually like a pair of shoes and then like a top and a bottom. Sometimes it's like some accessories. So I think I remember what's in here. So there's a pair of shoes in here, but we'll do that last. And then there's lots of clothes in here. Oh, okay, cool. This is useful because the ones that I brought with me here, like the compression part, it's like a couple of like stitches popped or something and they're not compressive anymore. But they sent me some performance calf sleeves. So pretty excited about that because the ones I have are like, they keep my legs warm, but they're not compressive that much anymore. So definitely useful. And then because I have very few like warm layers, for the bottom I picked a pant, but the pants that they had available was this one, so I thought I'd give it a try. It's like a 3/4 length tight from Corsa again with a short built on top of it, so it's like a 2-in-1. It feels kind of heavy. It feels really heavy in here, but we'll give them a shot. A very bright color, not normally a color I'd pick, but they've got a zip pocket and then regular pockets, so I think I can make this work. No pocket in the back for a phone, but I think it'll be alright. Sometimes on some of these Corsa things, they'll slide in a hip pocket somewhere. So I will figure that out. And we'll see how that goes. But I figure, this color being so bright is going to be useful because it's hunting season now. Well, it's been hunting season, but I think it's been like squirrel hunting season. And then I think that's still going. And then I think in October, so in a couple weeks, that's when bow hunting starts for deer. And there's been a lot of deer out. So I think it's going to be an enthusiastic season. People are going to be excited about that. And then it's, my father-in-law was rattling off the different seasons to me yesterday, and I should have paid closer attention. Then it's regular deer hunting season. I'm assuming that means rifles. And then he said that there's 2 seasons of shotgun, which I'm like, what? He says there's 2 seasons of shotgun in December. And I'm like, why did it, what? I don't understand that. Why isn't it just all of December then? But I don't know. Yeah. So nice bright orange shorts. They're not like hunter orange, but combine that with, I've been running with my headlamp on, even if I don't need the light, just so that there's like something flickering that definitely isn't like the glint of an animal's eye, you know? So I've been running with that, just trying to stay safe, you know? Yeah, Plant Power Dan says, good, don't want to get shot in the butt because it's not conducive for activation. True. Yeah. Where did that go? Someone said something about, I think it was Stevie76, says, if you see Dick Cheney, duck. Yeah, that's good advice. I mean, that's good advice even if it's not hunting season, I think. Plant Power Dan says, mullets make me faster by 15%. So maybe. And then add the stash, another 10. Wow. That would explain the 25 seconds I got. Or maybe it was 25. It was like 18 seconds that I got on that 5K. So I think the math adds up. Yeah. All right. Martha says, Kofuzi, it's like you left Chicago in a huge hurry, never imagining you'd be in Iowa after summer. It says it's almost exactly like that because it is exactly that. I thought we'd be here for like July, maybe August, and then, you know, but you know, we're still here. I mean, there's nothing pressing that's making us go back. Like if my daughter had like in-person school, we'd probably be back there. But since she doesn't, and we can be virtual, we're going to be virtual from somewhere else. She's not the only one in her class that's doing virtual school from somewhere else. I know this because we had to go buy our own copies of the math book. But yeah, so it's something that's not common, but other people are doing it too. HB says, can someone recommend me a good daily trainer shoe? I'd say, you know, without more information than that, I would say I really like the Peg 37, the Nova Blast, the Clifton 7, Ride 13. Those are all some good options, I think. All right, let's do the shoes. We'll do that to the last one. So the shoes, a giant box for giant shoes. They're from Hoka, and it is the Bondi 7. So let's take a look at these guys. I didn't like the black color that they had. If they had like a black and white one like they did last year, I would have gone with that. But I went with this one. It's like green and yellow. It reminds, I don't know. It's like very, I like this color and I like this color. Together, it's kind of bright. But you know, I like it. What I'll say is the outsole looks exactly the same as last year's. But what I will say though is this shoe doesn't like look to me and feel to me as like bulky as last year's Bondi, and so I'm excited about it. And you know, I just finished running in the Clifton, or I got to the 100 miles in the Clifton, so like, you know, replacing it with this I think is going to be nice. The one concern that I did have though is, as bulky as last year's Bondi was, is that like the toe box, it seemed a little bit tight, like right in this spot here. So we'll see if it is. I don't know when I'll run in these. Maybe I'll run in them tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll see. But I'll start running in them very soon. So those are the packages for today. So thanks for watching me open up my mail, guys. Chris Dyke was saying it looks like navy and yellow on screen. I think it's like what is the color? It's called I don't know. It's like weird codes on here, but I forget. I will specify in the video what the color is, but I don't think it's navy. It's like a sea green. It reminds me of like the Seattle Seahawks kind of greenish color. BubTub says Bondi with many exclamation points. He says it feels good at 215 weight. Okay. It took me a while on mine for them to like feel comfortable, because for the first run, it just felt like there was just a lot of stiffness underfoot. But I think that it'll. My last Bondi, the Bondi 6, got very cushioned by the end, and so I'm looking forward to that. KCA says it looks like the University of Michigan colorway. I think maybe on camera it does, but in real life it's a little greener than that. Although I'm not very colorblind. I'm kind of colorblind, so you guys could be exactly right. As we've been hiking, I mentioned the family hiking. My girls are like, oh, look at all the colors of the trees. And we like to play like a nature hunt game where I'll be like, try and spot a chipmunk, try and spot a squirrel, try and spot like a bird. And lately it's been like, try and find a red leaf. And I'm like, I give up. Because I have a hard time seeing like leaf colors. Oh, Rainrunner says Odyssey Gray / Deep Well. I think that's what it is. Yeah. And his Umbar says, I don't think we should go with your color description. You're probably right. Yeah, that's right. Stephen Gersdorf says, does Hoka use knit ever? It seems like most of their models are mesh. I don't think so. Cause even what was the shoe that they made? It started with a C, I want to think. They made a shoe that was supposed to be like a casual, like a street shoe. And that one didn't come in mesh. It came in leather, but it didn't come in mesh. So I don't think they like mesh. Crespin Greco says, is it stability? No, it's not a stability shoe. It's a max cushion shoe. So, yeah. Oh, Corey Allen says, if that was my mail, I would be spoiled. Polar Ignite and OH1 are delayed, and he's sitting on the front porch waiting while watching. Well, sorry. I hope it must feel like I'm rubbing it in. Sorry about that. I hope you get your new gear soon. I can tell you, it's fun when the new gear comes in. JC says your SJD search is gray with green lettering, just so you know. I've always thought of it, I mean, I know it's green because he likes green, but I've always thought of it as like a dark yellow. So yeah. Yeah, I have some problems with colors. Yeah, like my dad growing up, we grew up on the East Coast, and one of my dad's favorite things to do is to drive around and look at all the leaves that are changing. So we drive either up to the Pocono, so like we're at the northern end of the Appalachian Trail, or the Appalachian Mountains, and then, or is it the northern end? Anyway, there's parts of Appalachians that are available in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, and then other times he would want to drive up to New York, like upstate New York, and then upstate New York, like actually upstate New York, and I would hate it. Because all I would do is I used to get really car sick in cars, just like vomit anytime I was in the car more than like 15 minutes, and I couldn't see the colors anyway. So he'd be like, "Look at these amazing colors," and I'm like, "I don't see it. I see trees with leaves, I see some yellow trees, and I see some trees with no leaves. That's it. Like those are like the options that I have." Yeah. Martha says, "Oh dear, you are colorblind, not yellow in the least." That's Kelly. This is Kelly green. Oh, I guess it is. I suppose it is. Lighting plays a big part in how colorblind I am. Yeah, Chrisia says, Kafuzi can never work the bomb disposal unit. Cut the blue wire. Blue and purple, I get wrong every single time. It's exactly backwards. Chen Zhao says, ever tried those magical glasses? I haven't. I've heard about those. And my wife's uncle has them too, and I don't know if he uses them. He's a home inspector, so I'm guessing he probably uses them there, because then you like seeing a variety of colors is probably a useful diagnostic tool. But yeah, so but I've never tried those. I'm not that interested in it. Stevie76, color and direction challenge. Yeah, that's true. There's just a lot of things that are going wrong up in this part of my body by my head. Chanzao says, try those on live and we can see you cry. I mean, I guess if I did ever get those glasses. I'm not that interested in getting them, but because I feel like I see plenty of colors. I just see them differently than everyone else. I also think that I'm just too impatient to look for it. Because if I stare at this shirt, no, it looks green. Well, maybe because you guys told me it's green. But I feel like sometimes if I look at something close enough and be like, oh, there are some different colors in there. I just don't care. A lot of times, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe I don't care because I can't see them, or it's hard for me to see them. I don't know. But yeah. But if I ever did get them, I probably would videotape that just so I could be see what my response would be. Yeah, I mean that's one of the big reasons why when I shoot stuff with cameras, I don't. People like to be fancy and use picture profiles and get broader dynamic range, and I'm just like, give me whatever the camera thinks is right, because I'll just go with that. Sometimes I do tinker around with it, but usually I just adjust brightness and contrast, kind of I bring up the grays, bring up the white, and darken the black. That's kind of usually what I do, and that's about it. It makes the image seem sharper a little bit, but other than that, I can't do any of the color grading or color correcting because I can't. It's so hard. T. Davis has got a new Tin Man Elite quarter zip today. Gonna take it out for a spin this week. That sounds cool. Awesome. I've been listening to a lot of Coach Tin Man talk on YouTube, and guys, a walking encyclopedia of running facts. It's amazing. David Romero says, what made you grow out the stash? Boredom, I think. I didn't have to go anywhere for work. So I figured if I don't have to go to work, I'm not going to shave. And then I was like, oh, this is getting too long. I have to trim it at least. So that's where we're at. Martha says, as a musician, we had to wear black for concerts, and believe it or not, there are lots of shades of black, especially after people wash the clothes that are washable. That's true. That's why as much as I hate wearing suits now, because I've worn them so many times, for work, I enjoy wearing a suit. For men, it's really easy. And there was a time where I was like, my perfect work closet would be five black suits, five white shirts, 5 black ties, kind of like a Men in Black, that same thing, because it's just simple. It's really simple. So I usually I like to just dress the same. I guess there's so many other decisions to make. I just don't like to make clothing decisions a lot. Chris Dyke says, hey, Co, I mentioned above, but you were spot on with your idea of what Vancouver is like, at least my area. They film W Network movies in my neighborhood all the time. Yeah, see? That's right. That's what I thought. I think that a lot of movies are shot in Canada. Especially, did you guys watch Christmas Chronicles? The one with, what's his name? Kurt Russell in it. It was supposed to have occurred in Chicago, but that clearly isn't actually Chicago. But I forget what it was. In the end, in the credits, it was something Board of Tourism. I think it was Toronto Board of Tourism. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was they filmed it in Toronto and then just said it was Chicago. And so I think that that's pretty common, is that a lot of stuff is shot in Canada and then made to appear as if it's the United States. I think that a lot of the earlier years of HGTV, those shows, Love It or List It, Homes on Homes, those shows that have been around for a really long time. I think those shows started out as Canadian shows. And then they were like, oh, we can just also show this in the United States, because we never mention what they very specifically will not mention a city in some of those earlier shows, earlier seasons. They'll say Jim and Megan are looking to trade in their house in the suburbs to move to a more urban area. And they'll show a city, but they won't ever say what city it is or what suburb they moved in from. And so I think that that's been happening a lot with a lot of those shows. I feel like the early days of the Cooking Channel. Do you guys remember when the Cooking Channel just came out? Before then, there was only Food Network. Then there was Food Network and Cooking Channel. I feel like were just straight up only Canadian cooking shows, and that's all what the entire roster of programming was for the first 6 months. And then a lot of cartoons now, I think that they're all animated, produced, and voiceovered. Is that the right verb? Voiceovered in Canada, because I can hear like the hint of the Canadian accent in a lot of cartoon characters these days. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. But it's just like, I think that most people don't realize that. Anyway. Arnold Analyst says, Jen is a butterfly collector and Don works with Legos. Their budget is $12 million. That's so much. That's so funny. That happens like all the time. And I'm like, wait, they're going to spend $850,000? Like, what? Sean Marshall says, Kofuzi, do you remember Biker Billy Cooks with Fire? I don't remember that one. But what was the one? Oh, man. It was the one where the woman, it was kind of like a modern take on Elvira. But I guess Elvira did cooking too. But she was kind of like, she wanted you to think she was out of New York. But she had like a Russian-American accent. And and all her cooking was like, had that like biker aesthetic to it. That show was really fun. I really like that one. Justin Schwartz says, I live in Texas now, but born and raised in Toronto. Raptors, enough said. Yeah. I remember when that just started. I guess I'm a little bit older. Rainrunner says, I'm always surprised by Canadians who leave Canada, but seems like there are many reasons too. Yeah, I have a feeling like once all these things settle down, there'll be a lot more Americans moving to Canada for many reasons that are all good reasons. Chris Yao says, Comcast says I've hit 5% of the data cap for the month. Can I do Kofuzi for the next 8 days? Well, I think that puts you right on track because you're like 3 weeks in. And 75%, so another 25% is one more week. So I think you're gonna be like perfectly in. There you go, awesome. So someone said, Arnold Analyst says, worked with a Theragun yesterday, and today I'm super sore. I hate that. I that caught my eye because like it's not like a lot, but I'll get a lot of like requests for people to review like their like massage gun, and I just don't like those things. So like, am I missing out? Because like if you guys think I am, then I'll like the next person that asks, I'll be like, sure, send it over, I'll take a look at it. But I just feel like I don't know. It feels like I'm gonna hurt myself with that. Sean Marshall says, Biker Billy was like watching an ex-ZZ Top roadie cook on a budget range top with Be Kind to Motorcyclists commercials. That's awesome. That sounds familiar. I can't say that I don't remember that. Martha says, everyone I know seems to think Vancouver is the most, where'd it go? That Vancouver is the most livable city in Canada if one can afford it. I've heard about that too. And, but people tell me though, like when I tell them I live in Chicago, they're like, oh, you should go to Toronto. Because Toronto is pretty much exactly like Chicago, but it's got an old world part of the city too. And I'm like, oh, even better. That's awesome. Because then it sounds to me like a mix between like Chicago and New York, which is kind of like would be perfect. My wife and I have been planning like a Toronto vacation, like without the kids for like forever, but you know, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, I really want to go visit. Because isn't Toronto where, what's his name? I figured out his name because of the Cooking Channel. And Chuck, I forget what his last name is. He's French. I don't think he's French Canadian. I think I don't know. But he speaks a lot of French. But he has a restaurant in like Old Toronto, I think, isn't it? And he's friends with like Le Boeuf, those guys. But he had like a really cool show where it was like, he had this like 12-seat restaurant and he was just like doing his thing, riding a scooter around Old Toronto and like picking up ingredients for his restaurant, and it was super cool. And I was like, I like that vibe. I like that lifestyle. That was great. And so I was like, oh, Toronto, huh? Frank LaHoolier says, I thought all the Canadians who moved to the U.S. were movie and or rock stars. My first like I would say like encounter with Canadians I didn't have a lot of experience with Canadians growing up, but the first time that I met like many Canadians was on spring break in college, and we booked like this thing at like a resort, like an all-inclusive thing, a whole bunch of us, and we were hanging out at the pool, and like it seemed like everyone there was from Canada, and I think it was because our school, like for whatever reason, like that year, our spring break was like a week ahead or a week after like every other school in the nation's spring break. So like it was super quiet. It made it a lot cheaper, but it was also super. It was like we were like, I thought this was supposed to be like a giant party, and it was just like a fun party, but not giant. But you end up meeting a lot of people, and it's like everyone there was everyone there in, where did we go? It was Puerto Vallarta. Everyone in Puerto Vallarta that year was Canadian. All right. Stephen Gersdorf says, it sounds like Canada has a regressive immigration policy. Well, I mean, it seems like a lot of people are trying to get in there, so maybe they need to. I don't think they have, I mean, I don't know. Is it, like the whole like royal connection to me is still kind of like very peculiar in the way that like things are structured in Canada. Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like a bizarro kind of place. And to think of it, I don't know that I've ever been to Canada. I must have, surely, at some point. I can't imagine that my parents didn't. We went to Niagara Falls, but we might have stayed on the New York side when I was very young. I was probably younger than how old my daughter is. But I definitely remember that. But I don't know that I've ever been to Canada. We definitely need to change that as soon as conditions allow. Maybe not as soon. It might not be the first place I go, depending on what time of year it is. But I definitely want to go to Canada. Lady A says, look at all the Canadian actors. Let's go. Michael J. Fox, Ryan Reynolds. And then she says, suddenly I forgot them all. Justin Schwartz, Jim Carrey, Pam Anderson, Mike Myers. Oh, I didn't know Mike Myers was. Did I know that? I think I knew that. Carlos Cejas says, finally I joined the stream. Good to see you, Carlos. Awesome. Yeah, I think it's been a while. It's not your first time. Frank O'Leary says, you stayed on the U.S. side of Niagara Falls? I don't remember, because there's like a U.S. I mean, I was super young. I don't even remember. I'm not sure that I even remember the experience. I think I remember as a younger child seeing photos of me at the experience, and so I don't know if I actually remember. You know what I mean? Like, I see photos of me, my family, and me. It was before my sister was born, so I was under the age of like 6. And so, at least in the photos. And so, it's one of those things where it's like, do I actually remember it? Or do I just think I remember it because I've been told about it and I've seen the picture so many times? So I don't know. So I don't know where we actually were. So, Jody Run says, surely if you went to Niagara, you walked across a bridge to the Canadian side and had a photo with a foot in each country. I'm not sure. I actually really don't know. Frank Leary says the U.S. side is super boring except for the chemical plant. So maybe I did go. I must have gone to Canada then. Frank LaHoulier seems to know a lot about Niagara Falls on the U.S. side. Yeah, Stephen Gersdorf says Canadians will never let Americans forget that they burned down the White House. Really? I'm not aware of that fact. All right. Well, it seems like we all have to have like a group field trip to Canada now. Maybe we all need to go on. We should like rent out one of those boats that goes down by the falls. Just like charter an entire boat for the Kofuzi Run Club for the Niagara edition. That sounds fun. I don't know. I think that's got to be a list that we start compiling too, including like the Weird Mile, and then like, I don't know. I feel like the dad's getting his list of like family vacations compiled. I guess I'm the dad of this group here, but we'll do it. I think we should do it. Yeah, let's figure out a time to go to the Niagara Falls. I mean, there must be good running in the area too, right? I would imagine there must be. There's got to be. We'll figure something else. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it there for today, everybody. Thanks everyone so much for hanging out today. It was so good to see you guys, because especially with yesterday what messed up, and then we didn't have one on Sunday, so it was really good to see you guys here today. Thanks so much for all your patience. I'm gonna continue to endeavor to at least make it as good as last week, and hopefully even make it better if I could do that too. Tomorrow I'm gonna talk about the GoPro Hero 9 in tomorrow's video, and then we'll do another live stream, same time, 3 o'clock Central Time. Hopefully I see you guys there. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thank you.